Vitam impendere vero. Dedicate your life to truth, royal, noble, honorable brothers and sisters from around the world. The XJ Global News Network, the Light Kingdom Party, Mr. Caduceus, we follow such noble and honorable principle. We expose, we oppose, and we shed light on concealed subject matters that require your attention and that you should have knowledge of. It is a noble position to take, but it is also a position that requires sacrifices, that requires a lot of strength in order to deal with everything that approaches you. We have seen with the current elimination of security clearance related to Brennan, and others will follow, what is done to people that oppose Trump. We also have seen that in the case of Paul Manafort, at the trial, the judge residing over such case is threatened, and the US Marshal's Office had to take control of the situation. We hope, Honorable Judge, that you will be protected and that everything will work out in a peaceful manner. At the same time, we have witnessed Donald Trump providing his speech about the sad day that America has related to the Paul Manafort trial. He communicated for Paul Manafort to be a good man. He communicated that it's a tragic day in the United States of America, and that it is all, after all, just a witch hunt that is directed against him. That is pretty much the essence of his dialogue. We see the kind of a coincidence that on the day that such charge is threatened, a speech is made by Trump about the trial itself and Paul Manafort's victim position in such matter. I believe that it is very essential that we acknowledge that there are great people in this country and nation, and Mr. Brennan is definitely one of them. And we never can forget that actually also Mr. McCain for Mr. Trump is not a good person, because he got caught in the war and he went into a war prison camp. It is men like Manafort that are more the likes of Mr. Trump, and it is men and women that are associated with KKK and the fascist movement that are also considered to be good people. I think that when we see that in context with Greg Unger's new book, The House of Trump, The House of Putin, then we realize the true gravity, how political racketeering is currently in this country in progress, under the full observation and approval of the Republican Party, which is the most scariest part of such objective. Mr. Greg Unger spent a lot of time in order to prove every statement made in his book, and he has gathered information that is of most illuminating nature. It is very clear that money laundering through shell companies has helped Donald Trump in the process of escaping the $4 billion debt weight that actually pretty much almost eliminated his financial foundation and his empire, real estate empire at that time. Numerous bankruptcies have been something that Mr. Trump faced, and it was such Russian money, as Mr. Unger so wonderfully in his book describes, that has saved such men from other bankruptcies and that helped him to regain strength. The more concerning part about all of that is when somebody engages in collaborations with the Russian mob, then he has access to other services as well, besides the fact of money laundering. one protects the other. And when one is exposed to a threat, then help will be provided to him, because after all of them are threatened in the process. Even though Putin communicated that he wanted Trump to win, Mr. Trump declines that Mr. Putin wanted for him to win. And even though it is a material fact that on the day when Mr. Trump asked Russia to provide to him the emails of Hillary Clinton on an unlawful foundation, that Russia hacked into Mrs. Clinton's email accounts. When we are in a very objective position and look at the facts, and we look at the actions, the deeds, and not what Mr. Trump communicates. Let's forget about the lies. But when we just see the essence of him claiming for Mr. Manafort, who actually used government jobs, falsified documents and tax returns in order to gain access to 16 million US dollar. When he calls such man to be a good person, for all of it to be wrong and that it is a sad day for the United States of America, when we also witness that Heather Heyer lost her life in Charlottesville, and Mr. Trump still had a good word for KKK and fascism, good people on both sides, then we also see that the link between money laundering, Russia, shell companies, organized crime is something that is reconfirmed through the actions and through his association and closeness to illegal conduct. And that is the most concerning part of it. And we cannot, of course, prove that the recent exposure of the judge in Manafort's trial to threats is related to that. But it becomes natural. And it is also natural that individuals like us are also facing their very own punishment. And we would like for the FBI to consistently observe that, because our particular financial activities are very much controlled right now, as we allege. And it is something that we don't accept. We will still continue to communicate the truth, because it is our obligation towards this nation, towards the people, as the Light Kingdom Party, as AXJ Global News Network, to communicate the truth and to expose the wrong the way it needs to be exposed. Because after all, it is about the light at the end of the tunnel. Martin Luther King once said, "I have a dream." And we also have such dream. And our dream is that corruption ends. Our dream is that political racketeering is not possible anymore. Our dream is that we, the people, understand that money laundering, offshore accounts that are used for shell companies to finance illegal activity need to be eliminated. We live for the idea of a global unification to take place. Global citizens like John Lennon was, like John F. Kennedy was, deserve our vision to continue to unite the world and to bring people together and not to divide them. After all, the good will win, and the Light Kingdom Party will provide such success for you, the people, in the future.